How pets impact families. This came up most recently when Donnie and Alicia, who were both dating long term and moved away from family, were considering getting a dog. And they were in their late 20s at the time, and we were like, don't do it. Reconsider.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Read some literature on the subject. Are you sure? They were like, hell with you, B. We're going to do it anyway.
Great.
And then they whispered in the dog's ears every night, Brendan said we shouldn't get you. Brendan said we shouldn't have got you. Well, why did we tell them not to do it?
Getting a dog is very similar to the entrance into parenthood. 100%. As a background of our relationship, we started year 2000, we got two baby boxers. They were 8 weeks old. And they were, without us knowing, 100% the entryway into kids. It is the late night awaking several times, I think.
Early morning, 3 in the morning.
We were getting up. They were not screaming, but crying early in the morning. They would wake us up around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we would pick them up and we would run downstairs and take them to the bathroom. And little did we know, the sprinklers came on that time in the morning too. So one day we have the dogs. We've just taken them for a walk at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're walking through the grass when we hear like this, and we're wondering, what is that sound? And all of a sudden, we're sprayed with water. Well, now we know that the sprinklers come on at 4 o'clock in the morning. Anyways,
and this is a third floor condo.
The third floor, yeah. So we had to hike up 3 flights, no elevator.
Pick up 2 dogs and run them on your shoulders like footballs.
Yeah.
Down in the middle of the night, you half sleep to take them out, and you can't let them pee on the condo grounds. So you got to take them across the other side of the street into like the no man's land area. Let them.
That, and you're used to taking care of you, and so now you have to, you've got the midnight wakings, you've got this being that you have to take care of. You've got shots you have to consider. You've got to buy all the toys and the things. You also have to clean up behind all the toys and the things. You have to clean up behind the dogs. If the dogs shed, I like wearing black, but shedding and black do not mix at all.
And you can't just leave town.
You cannot just leave town.
You can't just leave town
no,
at will.
Absolutely not. Now you have to, you're making your vacation plans. You're thinking about where we're going to go. What are we going to do? How much money do we need to budget? Stop for a second, because you also have to think about, where's your dog going to go? What's he going to do? Or they going to do? Where are they going to stay? How long are they going to stay? How much is it going to cost? All these things come into play, and it's better if you leave them with family, but now you got to consider, what type of dog do you have? You're not going to leave a pit bull with, a child that has a baby. There's just so many things to consider. And okay, so then there's also, hey, we want to go out and eat. Okay, well, we're going to leave the dog at the house. We're going to take the dog with us. If we take the dog with us, does the restaurant allow dogs? Can we sit outside? There's so many things to consider. It's just, I'm not saying don't do it. It's just, it's not a hey, my friend is lonely, let me buy them a pet. Don't do that.
And this is all, don't do that. This is all from the perspective of people who are dog people.
Absolutely.
Like we're a dog family.
We've had dogs for 20 years?
Right. And so
We've had 3 boxers.
Not just me, my brother, my parents' household, from the beginning, we're dog families.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think my point was that in your late 20s, even though we did it, right?
Yeah, no, we did it.
Which is crazy. But I feel like I'm advising you based on what my experience was. Like, dude, right now, you're in the sweet spot, bro.
Right.
You and your girlfriend, you can pick up and go at will. You can fly to, Cancun if you want to. You could do whatever you want to do on a minute's notice. And now you're jumping into dog. Yeah. Which is like, and the reason we said no is because we come to value that freedom so much because we haven't had it for so long. But it was kind of hypocritical because we had done the exact same thing.
True. But, we had foresight. So, there's no way we would, going back, we wouldn't do it. We would enjoy that freedom. But here's the other thing. As you were speaking, I thought about something else. Okay, so now you've got the dog, right? You doing all the things. Here's the other part of family and dogs affecting family. The great thing is, the dogs are going to love the kids. If they grow up with kids, the kids will be used to being around dogs. And, there's responsibilities that you work into that. Walking the dog, bathing the dog, feeding the dog, because they eat at certain times, things like that. But the losing of a dog is huge.
Yeah. So, she pointed to me because I'm the one who apparently has to handle that very difficult task.
It wasn't a handle, and go ahead.
Dogs become family.
Absolutely.
Especially, once you've had them for a decade, and they are just, once you adjust and let go of the freedoms that you let go of in order to have a dog. And we had 2 big dogs. Then when you lose them, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is like losing, it's not like, it is losing a member of the family.
It is.
So, positives, there's you don't do it, but if you ever had to run to the 7-Eleven and your baby was in the car, your kid was in the car with your 2 dogs, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
You got nothing to worry about. we never did it, but if we had, we knew for sure we had nothing to worry about because those dogs would kill anybody who tried.
Yeah, and the kids become litter mates depending on the age you get them. The breed of dog boxer is just so good with kids. They're big, but they just adopt kids, right? So they become this force field around the kid, and also will take any amount of abuse that a kid can dish out, which is cool.
Yeah, it was just when we lost Lex, it was unexpected and very difficult. And we had 3 kids, but one of them was very close. Amir was very close to the dogs, and so having to have him come home from school and have to tell him that Lex had passed unexpectedly was extremely difficult. I don't know where I was, but you had to tell him. So that was difficult.
Once again, I had to handle the work. Yeah. Continue.
That was very difficult. But then we ended up getting Rhodey.
Got Rhodey. That was a whole other thing.
I don't know how
it was 6 months later, 6 months after.
Yeah.
And that was another calamity.
But you know what? That was also a lesson for us. We learned something in that. It was, we taught our 2 boxers that we got when we were in 20-0 very well. They were very well trained. And so when Lex passed, we waited 6 months, we got Rhodey. With Rhodey, we were in kid mode. And so we're in total kid mode and taking care of family and working. And so the training of the dogs that we did at the 20-0 level wasn't available. So now you've got one trained dog, somewhat, and then you've got Rhodey. And we kind of just let Rhodey do what he wanted and follow Kel, and that was a disaster. So
not do what he wanted because, number one, I firmly believe that dogs do not belong on furniture. So he didn't break any of my man barriers. There was a hard layer past which he could not act his ass. He could not do that. No. But we did leave a lot of the training to the other dog, which was insane. But the time wasn't there, like you said. Right. So he knew basic behaviors, but he had some bad behaviors that required curbing. And that as a puppy, because we kind of left him out there with the other dog, he was chewing on everything. Right. He chewed my lawnmower cables. Yeah. That was crazy.
That's one thing that I would definitely say. You need to put time into training every dog. Don't leave one dog out. Or if you feel like you've got, young kids that you need to devote time to, then getting a puppy is not a good idea because they require their own training. And to just have a dog that you're not training you are waiting for, that's a disaster waiting to happen. That's not a good idea.
Yeah. So dogs are great. Depending on the age, the amount of time you have to dedicate to it, and they're kind of like knee replacements, right? So knee replacement surgery, they say, look, well, this is the age you're at. I wouldn't get it yet because you're going to probably need another one before you die. So you don't want to go through this twice. So they make you live with the bad knee for a while before they let you get the replacement. I wouldn't know because my knees are great. But Maurice tells me this.
Okay.
And dogs are the same way. At the way I think about dogs now, having had 3 big dogs, I look at it and I don't know if I got another 10 years, if I figure I'm going to have a dog for 10 years or 12 years, am I ready to have one now knowing I'm going to lose that dog and have to go through that anguish?
Yeah, that's really hard.
At 12 years from now, or do I just want to wait? I don't know. I think I'll wait.
Yeah, I think I want to wait. We haven't had a dog in probably 2 years, And so, going on vacations and things that requires extra budget, extra time, extra effort. So it's kind of nice to just actually be able to say, hey, we want to go on a vacation, pick up and leave. I love that. So I think it will be a while before we have another dog, but I wouldn't say that we would never get another dog, because I don't believe that. I think we would have another dog. The question is, do we get a smaller dog? Because we're so used to the boxer. It's a big dog. It has this, it has a presence. It lets you know.
We're very meticulous about picking up dog poop every time.
Absolutely.
So the question is, how big of a poop do you want to pick up? That's the question. You want to pick up little poop? You want to pick up like Mastiff poop, which I don't ever want to do. That's grapefruit sized poop. I'm not doing that.
I think I don't know if I want another boxer, maybe a pit bull. But I have my own reservations about pit bulls.
I do like having a dog to give people a moment of pause, but I might be over it. I'm not sure. The best scenario is that we buy a farm, and then you have a barn, and then the dogs can go run around and poop wherever they want, and then they sleep in the barn, and I come and brush them.
Because then you can never go to the barn.
They don't poop in the barn. They poop out in the field somewhere, and then they come back and they kind of live on the grounds. You're not allowed in the furniture anyway, so you're pretty much not allowed in the house. So I want to be with a dog, I go out.
I appreciate having a dog that's old enough to give somebody a moment of pause. So like when you are away and out of town, anyone that knows that we live here also knows they have a dog, and that's not a little dog. They got a dog that will bite me or kill me. Mm-hmm. I like that idea.